Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you're well. What a wonderful weekend. Um, I was at Megalithania this weekend. I was speaking on mushrooms and megaliths. So for my book, Seven Magical Mushrooms, I did a lot of research into the history and the folklore of seven mushrooms: reishi, chaga, lion's mane, cordyceps, turkey tails, fly agaric, and the liberty cap. So I was looking into those mushrooms for the book, and that sparked a real deepening interest in me. So I've always loved mushrooms and I've always loved megaliths. So some of you might be going, what is a megalith? Well, it's a big stone. A megalith is a big stone, basically, or the stone circles, those megalithic creations from that era. And I've always loved going to those ancient sacred sites. And so often the question that has come up when I've gone to those sites within me is, how did they know where to place the stones? What was the purpose of these stones? Obviously, quite often you go to these places and they've got a real magic to them. There's a real feeling in the energy of the land. And what's been shown now is that they are built on lays, so these energy lines, these magnetic currents of the earth. So they're somehow working with that. And more recently, I found a map that showed the stone circles in this country and the sites where the psilocybins, the magical mushrooms, are found. And guess what? They correlate. So this got my brain thinking, is it because the ancients were consuming these psychoactive substances that they were able to see where the energy lines are of the earth? Did the mushrooms give them that extrasensory perception? Did they already have that extrasensory perception? Is that something we've just lost, a lot of us, through time? What is it? So this led me to exploring even more this depth of the use of mushrooms, or not just mushrooms, but psychoactive substances. So your blue lotuses, your mugworts, your henbanes, hemlocks, all of these different things. How have they affected our civilization? Not just the megaliths. And so then you start looking into, or I started looking into, the links to religion. And, it's incredible, the iconography that have mushrooms in that date back so far. Cave paintings from 9,000 years ago depicting magic mushrooms and humans in a kind of psychedelic trance state. So humans have been working with these for a long time, and I believe this is part of our evolutionary process. And then you look at so many of the shamanic cultures who have used and still do use these psychedelic substances as that communion with the gods. So this is what the essence of my talk was about at Megalithania, which was very well received, which is lovely. It was great to be there and great to meet so many lovely people, so many new people. This one guy, Connor, bless you, Connor, if you're listening, made me this gorgeous mushroom statue. I was so touched. He saw me speaking at a Glastonbury Symposium last year and then saw I was on the lineup for the Megalithania this year. And so he knew he had to make me a mushroom, which I thought was really, really kind. So I was very, very touched by that. Great to meet some other amazing presenters that were speaking and get to connect with them and chat to them, and see old friends again as well. And that was so beautiful, so lovely to connect with people. So I had an amazing weekend. Really grateful to be able to share my passion and my love for mushrooms and for plants and for, ultimately what it boils down to, and this is what I was talking to people about, you don't have to take psychedelic substances, psychoactive substances, to connect into the earth. We have this innate ability to connect to the earth because we're part of it. And I believe through the use of non-psychoactive mushrooms like rishis, chagas, lion's mane, you know, the cordyceps, turkey tails, maitake, shiitake, these kind of mushrooms, non-psychoactive mushrooms, they can enhance our perception as well, enabling us to commune with the earth more. Now, what is fascinating is, you know, the film Avatar talks about in it this incredible electromagnetic communication network that allows everything to travel everywhere, this communication. And so this is super interesting. So this network that they're talking about in Avatar is the mycelium network, allowing trees to communicate, plants, you know, for us to tap into. We can tap into it. We've forgotten that we can tap into it. And the fascia in our body is exactly the same as the mycelium network in the earth, which shows this interconnection even more. So through our fascia, it's like your partner that you sleep with in your bed. You share bacteria, you know, it can communicate. You don't have to be consuming the same things, but your bacteria will still communicate with other people. Same if you walk into a room. You can feel someone's mood before you've even spoken to them quite often. Is this the fascia, mycelium communicating? Probably. So in Avatar, they talk about, you know, that they're able to hook into this communication network, but we can too. And I believe it's through the use of non-psychoactive and for some psychoactive substances that we can do this. The mushrooms allow us to tune into this vibration more. So I'm not recommending people go out and take psychoactive substances. If you want to do that, that's up to you, but you don't have to get this communication. It's a matter of intention. And that's the most important thing. It's the intention. I'm going to work with the mushrooms. I'm going to sit on the earth. I'm going to ground myself. I'm going to remove devices. I'm going to commune with the earth. And I'm going to see what happens. You know, for me, cacao, blue lotus, reishi, chaga, lion's mane, cordyceps, turkey tails, you know, they're my favorite things to work with. And I do it in the form of drinking a cacao often. And this enables me to really hear and feel and see my environment around me, to tune into that. As I said, you know, we're all born with these abilities, and some more than others. So, you know, for me, it's about a remembering, you know, and working with the tools that the earth gives us to remember even more deeply that we are of this earth, you know. And most of you have heard me talking about this because it's such a core message for me. It's the core of my work, you know. If you're following me, then you should know that by now. The core of my work is to remind people, to connect them back into who they are, divine beings on this earth that are part of this earth. And that is so, so important, that remembrance that we are part of this earth. Anyway, just wanted to share a little bit about my weekend. I'm off to get ready now for this evening's cacao training. It's week 3 of the 8-week online cacao training, and oh my God, it's amazing. The group is so incredible. The communication that they're all having, the connections, just beautiful. Really honoured to be holding this space. The next time I'm going to be running it is in September. It is online, so you can book now if you'd like to journey with me. And if you want to find out more about mushrooms and start working more deeply with mushrooms, I'm running a mushroom practitioners course, certified again, in September. That is on sale at the moment, so do check that out. Anyway, I'm off to enjoy my cacao, set my intentions, and yeah, get on with the day. Lots of love. Bye.